The story begins in an interrogation room where agents conduct a session with Dr. Annika. After checking her vitals, they ask what she witnessed and how she is still alive. As a child, she was deeply close to her sister, Clara. One afternoon, the two girls caught a firefly in a jar and decided to release it so it could breathe. In that same moment, Clara dropped the jar and collapsed. Annika screamed for their mother. Clara was rushed to hospital, but nothing could be done. Annika held her sister's hand and watched her die. Years later, Annika attends a public talk by billionaire Sam, who is convinced that life exists elsewhere in the universe. Sam calls himself an observer rather than a visionary. He made his first billion from solar energy, but did not invent the sun. He does believe Annika is a visionary, though, and singles her out in the crowd as the first person to photograph dark matter. After the event, Sam approaches her and admits he did not come to give a talk. He came to offer her a job. Over drinks, he asks about her work. She explains how she overlapped 233 data sets to find order in chaos. When he asks what drove her, she says she wants to know what is out there. Sam offers her a one-year contract at a small private lab on a remote Caribbean island, but refuses to say more. His vague phrasing leads her to guess he is hunting aliens. Sam corrects her. He is gathering them. She takes the job. Annika travels to the island by boat and meets Charlie, an electronics engineer who directs Gateway Labs. He was hired by Sam to oversee the island's technology. The staff number's only around 10 people. The operation is deliberately small. Annika explores the facility, pauses at a curious statue near the entrance, and heads inside. Upstairs, she finds Dr. Perry receiving an immune booster injection. She introduces herself and offers her hand. Perry ignores it and is immediately hostile, convinced Sam sent her to spy on him. Charlie fares no better. As Perry shows them around, he reminds them that all communications are monitored under their non-disclosure agreements. In the lab, Charlie admires the equipment while Perry warns him not to touch anything. Perry then explains his theory. Humanity is searching for a new world full of resources, but technologically advanced alien competition exists out there. Traditional searches for extraterrestrial intelligence rely on radio waves, which cover only 1/10,000th of the sky using outdated methods. Perry believes aliens would never use radio. Instead, he built an FTL communicator. It pairs two photons, keeps one on Earth, and sends the other light years away, so they communicate across the galaxy. Charlie says this breaks the laws of physics. Perry says it only bends the laws humans currently know. Annika insists it is impossible. Perry says he built it 6 years ago in his basement and asked them to perfect it. Left alone with the machine's chaotic data, Annika immediately recognizes the problem. Finding order in chaos is exactly what her own research did. She applies her algorithm, the noise resolves, and a clear signal emerges. The aliens are real and have been transmitting. They rush to tell Perry, who already knew a signal existed and only needed her mathematics to confirm it. The curious statue outside is actually a second machine Perry calls Little Myth, but it cannot yet replicate the quantum signatures needed to respond. Charlie has done this kind of replication in his own lab, meaning both he and Annika were recruited specifically to contribute their individual expertise. Later, Perry briefly visits his daughter Lucy outside, but says almost nothing before leaving. In the lab, Annika verifies the signal and thinks of Clara of a camping trip when they thought they heard monsters. Clara wanted to leave the tent. Annika held her back, too afraid to lose her. That evening, Charlie wants to activate the transmitter. Annika thinks it is too soon. She asks what the aliens might be capable of. Charlie shares how he developed a bionic eye that sent microelectrodes from the eye to the brain, restoring sight to the blind. By the 5th version, it offered better vision than a healthy human eye. He believes humanity will keep improving each body part until the mind itself is transferred into a durable container, a chip. That, he says, is the natural endpoint for the species. Annika disagrees. Painful experiences make people who they are, and removing suffering is not progress. She notes that some of his patients remove the bionic eye entirely, proving people can take pride in their limitations. In the interrogation room, the agents ask why Annika stayed once she recognized Perry was unstable. She says she did not want to leave first contact with an alien civilization to a man falling apart. The staff doctor tells Annika that Perry lost his wife and son in a house fire 4 years ago. He was in an outbuilding at the time, drunk and self-medicating, and learned about it only when police woke him. Lucy survived because she was at a sleepover. Perry understands that people matter in theory, the doctor explains, but not in practice. That night at dinner, Sam entertains Lucy with a magic trick. Perry sends her to bed. Charlie and Annika report to Sam that the signal is confirmed real and argue that the world deserves to know. Sam refuses to involve bureaucrats. Annika asks for 1 week. Perry keeps cutting into the conversation with unsettling observations about animals in captivity and how a solitary creature threatened by visitors will eventually attack. Then he snaps, slams the table, and demands they fix his project immediately or he is done. Sam explains afterward that Perry is held together with medication and that Annika and Charlie are there to replace him the moment he becomes non-functional. That night, Charlie sneaks into the lab and finishes repairs on Little Myth so it can transmit. He tells Perry, who begins programming the message and calls Annika to oversee. She protests but is ignored. Perry selects the most repeated sequence from the alien signal and plans to send it back, using the speed of light as a unit of measurement and repeating the code 10 times at varying intervals, enough for any logical being to recognize logic in return. Annika texts Sam asking him to intervene. Sam replies he wishes he were there. Perry tells her it does not matter anyway. There is no kill switch. Charlie sides with Perry. Perry says he expects no response, so the message content is irrelevant. Annika asks why he built any of this if it does not matter. He says that is precisely the point to prove it. The machine glows and the message goes out. The group waits. Nothing happens. Annika calls Sam to say she is leaving, but the call drops. The lab loses power. The backup generator kicks in. Annika finds herself locked in her room. Across the city, Sam watches the lights go out. Charlie spots critical system failures and begs Perry to shut down. Perry hesitates, then does so. Charlie hacks Annika's door open with his tablet. Together with the doctor, they watch news reports confirming the entire world lost power for several minutes, triggering disasters and deaths worldwide. NASA admits the event extends beyond Earth's atmosphere. Annika notices the power returned after exactly 8 minutes and 19 seconds, the time it takes sunlight to reach Earth. She concludes the aliens responded in a language humanity would understand, using the sun as a reference. Charlie agrees. Annika decides Little Myth must be destroyed. The doctor supports her. Charlie believes the aliens have good intentions. Annika insists they cannot know that. Meanwhile, Perry watches security cameras and spots Lucy outside. He presses something on the machine. When Annika goes to shut it down, she finds Perry already has. Outside, every insect within range has dropped dead in a perfect circle around the machine. Lucy's kite is suddenly yanked toward it, the string wrapping around her hand and dragging her across the ground. Perry sprints out, frees her, and holds her as a strange anomaly grows in the sky overhead. The NSA visits Sam in the city. They have footage of the anomaly, but cannot analyze it. Their satellites are still down. In 2 days, it will be visible from the mainland. In a week, the world will panic. Sam says the island contains only a solar observatory. Back on the island, the terrified staff leaves. Charlie notices Little Myth is surrounded by a column of pressurized air and a vacuum. Annika says speech is just air with meaning. Maybe the column is data. They light a fire beside the machine, and the vacuum absorbs the smoke, which forms shapes around it. Governments worldwide declare states of emergency. Riots break out. Martial law follows. Sam arrives on the island. Charlie theorizes the original signal was a distress call, and the aliens came to warn humanity. Annika watches footage of people trapped underground and thinks of the firefly in the jar, something alive that needed space to breathe. She concludes the blackout was a global scan. The aliens now know air is vital to humans and are using it to communicate. The column is an invitation, but stepping inside it means suffocating. Charlie volunteers. Soldiers surround them before he can act and place everyone under arrest. An NSA agent explains that governments worldwide are mobilizing weapons. There is no fixing this now. Locked in her room, Annika speaks to Charlie through the intercom. She is consumed by fear. Charlie tells her she cannot let fear decide. She became a scientist to help people. The words bring Clara flooding back. She could not save her sister, but she can act now. Annika lies to the NSA agent, telling him Perry is still running a signal and making the anomaly grow. The agent wants to send a soldier to shut it down, but Annika says only a scientist can operate the controls. He gives her 5 minutes. Outside in a tent, she opens a laptop and pretends to work while Charlie pounds on his glass doors and shouts to distract the guards. Annika runs to Little Myth and steps inside the air column. A soldier shoots her, and she falls. After a moment of darkness, Annika wakes feeling perfectly fine. The column is empty around her. She breathes and begins forming questions. The aliens respond with a vision of Clara. Speaking through her voice, they explain, they are not biological and not machines. They are physics itself. They do not create or destroy. They learn and reorganize. Charlie was right. The signal was a distress call. These aliens came to protect humanity from predators elsewhere in the universe. Earth, having revealed itself by transmitting, is now in danger from others. This race only protects. As visions of the universe pass through her, the aliens tell her that one day humanity may evolve as they have. Outside the column, the agent holds the soldiers back. In the vision, Clara hands Annika the jar. She opens it and dozens of fireflies pour into the light. She releases her grief at last. She wakes in the real world. Above the island, the mysterious cloud expands at extraordinary speed until it covers the entire planet. Back in the interrogation room, Annika tells the agents that humanity is now protected from the dangers of the universe, but not from itself.